So what's up, everyone? How you doing? James Merrifield here, the king of leadership. This video, we're going to talk about the power of leadership influence. I like to start off these videos with a good quote. The quote is that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That was from the great Jim Rohn, everybody. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So think about who you're spending time with and think about who you're letting in your internal circle. The power of influence is so strong that you can really do some serious greatness amongst your followers, just as you can very easily do some serious damage to them. In a position of leadership, you can either choose to lead right or you can choose to lead wrong. Look back at some of the leaders that we've had in our world. A prime example of a bad leader I'd have to say was Adolf Hitler. Adolf led an army. He led a group of people that believed that whatever it was that, the cause that he was fighting for was the right cause. And that was to exterminate a group of people in order to create one master, group of people. Bad call. In the end, it didn't quite, work out for him. So, in a position of leadership, you've really got to pick and choose, what is going to be your influence. I mean, are you going to be influencing people to do good, or are you going to be influencing people to do bad? I mean, that's just something that you're going to have to ask yourself. There are many men who have dedicated their lives to a life of good influence in leadership. You've got some men that loved their position so much that they were willing to die for it. Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves, was one of them. I think one of his most famous quotes was, he says, if you ever want to imagine, or if you ever want to be a slave, imagine being one. He led with his heart. I mean, he was a great influence, and like I said, he was willing to die for his cause. Martin Luther King was another great leader, who believed in his cause. He believed in it so much that he was willing to die for it. So there were some really, really outstanding leaders in this lifetime. So you really have to decide with your leadership influence, what it is that you're really, what you stand for, and what you're willing to take it all the way, to the very end for. In a position of leadership, we have the power to do what is right. And I think that is probably one of the biggest things that, seems to just be non-existent anymore. There's a lot of political agendas in leadership that are not necessarily designed on what is right. You doing what is right. Their agendas are for doing something for one specific party, so that these individuals will favor, and obviously, in another party, they're not going to favor. So you really have to think about that. In a position of leadership, do what's right. Make it a point to do what is right. You do what is right. Why? Because it is the right thing to do. Always remember that. Do what is right, because it is the right thing to do. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, the power of leadership influence, your leadership influence is going to be very powerful. So make sure that you do lead to the best of your ability. If you haven't gone to pick up A New Way to Lead yet, go get it. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link on this video right here. But definitely, if you haven't picked up A New Way to Lead yet, you've got to go get it. The book is fire. I put my heart and soul into everything that I do. And you're really going to enjoy A New Way to Lead. There's some great leadership success stories in there, as well as leadership stories of what not to do. So you're going to get a lot out of it. But go check that book out, everybody. James Merrifield here, The Power of Leadership Influence. Check out the next video. Thank you.